Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us as we zoom in to celebrate the Livermore Valley Chamber of Commerce hashtag LiveValBiz 2020 Awards. I'm Harold Roundtree, Chairman of the Chamber of Board of Directors and CEO of Uncle Credit Union. In spite of the challenges as a result of the pandemic and its impacts, we are thrilled to be able to produce this program, recognizing some of the amazing businesses and organizations that make their home right here in the Livermore Valley. We plan to have some fun with this program, and we have some special guests that are joining us today. Rebecca Bauer-Cahan, California Assembly member for the 16th District and former Livermore Mayor John Marchand. But first, I have some important acknowledgments to make. Already recognized as a very professional and effective team supporting Chamber members, the Chamber team took it to the next level during the pandemic and shelter in place, working tirelessly to support the business community. I want to say thank you to Martha Espinoza, Christy Malzak, Jeannie Haig, Sanye Amari, and Don Aguilar. You are the engine that powers the Chamber of Commerce. The fuel to power this amazing work of this chamber is largely due to our sponsors and partners. Thank you to today's event sponsor, Dexelmeyer. Thank you to our event partners, Amherst Productions and Crown Trophy. Thank you to our wine sponsor, Omega Road Winery. Thank you to our Chairman Circle members, more than 30 businesses. I'm happy to say Uncle's one of those. Large and small in the circle support this chamber and by extension, the greater business community. I want to thank you to the leadership of this chamber, our board of directors. They work tirelessly representing 22 businesses and the organizations throughout the Livermore Valley. Beyond the chamber organization, I want to acknowledge and express my sincere thanks to our elected and appointed officials. We recognize that you too have been under extreme pressure navigating the unknowns and threats of this deadly virus upon public health and its impacts to our livelihoods. Your partnership with this Chamber of Commerce has been invaluable as together we face the multiple threats to our economy and the community. And finally, last but not least, thank you to our Chamber members and to the greater Livermore Valley business community. The Chamber sees you and we hear you. Your resilience, hope, and promise of a return to economic strength is our focus and for the coming months going forward. And now I'm pleased and honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer-Cahan. Was elected in 2018 and re-elected just this past November to serve the California 16th Assembly District. She represents the communities of Dublin, Lafayette, Livermore, Orinda, Pleasanton, San Ramon, Walnut Creek, Danville, Alamo, and Moraga. Rebecca is an accomplished attorney, environmental advocate, community volunteer, law professor, and mother. We appreciate the Assembly members' proactive outreach to this chamber, her business roundtables, and workshops. And without further ado, to our Assembly member.
Thank you so much, Harold. It's good to be here. And I want to say, to add to that bio, I'm an avid small business patron in my own community. So it's an important part of what I love doing. I was actually just putting together some holiday gift bags of all locally sourced goods because it's so important right now to support our small businesses. So good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to be with you this afternoon. I'm honored to be here today for these Livermore Business Awards to celebrate some of the most resilient and innovative business anchors in our community. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and your president and CEO, Don for inviting me here today. As Harold says, the staff that runs this is the engine that fuels the chamber, and the chamber is the engine that fuels our incredible business community. So thank you for everything you do, because it is critical, and we've never seen how critical it is until this moment, just how important it is to keep these businesses supported and going when things are so challenging. So thank you so much. You heard a little bit about my bio, but it's an honor to represent at the 16th Assembly District in Sacramento, including the Tri-Valley and Livermore. And I've had a wonderful partnership with the Livermore Chamber of Commerce and the businesses that reside there in the 2 years I've had the opportunity to serve. And I know that we will continue to work together to look towards recovery and how we can support the businesses to get through this trying time. So you heard a little bit about the roundtable that Dawn and the Chamber joined me on to talk about what is so important and how we as a legislature can make California a more business-friendly place and allow our businesses to thrive. And that's been an honor to work in partnership on that. And, you know, I do have to say that I missed our Wine Country luncheon this year, but I know as we look to the light at the end of the tunnel, the first vaccines were given yesterday, which really gives me, and I hope all of you, so much hope that we are going to get through this. It is hard and we are continuing to be in a surge, but we will get to the end of this. And I know that the vaccine is the beginning of that hope. So that was wonderful to see yesterday. And, you know, it's always better to be in person, but I'm glad we can engage virtually, whether it be through those roundtables, coming to talk to me in my district virtually, and discuss the legislation and how it will impact your community. It is so critical that we be in partnership and understanding the impact every piece of legislation that moves through our chamber has on the businesses that support our community and that employ the vast majority of Californians. So I look forward to continuing that relationship as I continue to serve this community. So one of the things I really want to highlight is that this year we have seen the ability of our businesses, and especially our small businesses in our community, of meeting a moment like the one we are in to help one another get through the difficult times. And that resilience and that coming together is really what today is about, what the award nominees have done and what the Livermore small business community has done. And I want to recognize that, because I think we knew before this how innovative entrepreneurship was in our community, but to truly see it in action over the past 9 months has been a remarkable thing. Whether it be when the PPP loans came out, it was our community banks that we immediately learned were the ones that were going to get our businesses those loans, those banks that are in our own backyard supporting our community every single day. Whether it's our boutiques who moved to private shopping hours to make sure people could continue to do their shopping while also feeling safe, especially for our most vulnerable community members. The bookstores that I know got me, the local bookstores who got my family through our lockdown in the spring when I was at home with 3 kids and I needed things for them to do, delivering books to my doorstep. With a call and a credit card, I could get books delivered that would keep us busy. Restaurants pivoting from serving prepared meals to providing groceries during that time when it was so hard to get those staples. You couldn't get the eggs at your local grocery store, but our restaurants turned around and opened up to provide those resources for us. Watching our businesses, from nail salons to hair salons to restaurants, pivoting outside when we realized that was the safest way to do business during a surge. I know that wasn't easy, but you know, watching that was really a remarkable thing. And I want to give a shout out to our city. I know that Mayor Mashan is here with us, but watching them support our community through these incredibly difficult times by providing childcare when schools shut down, and working parents like me needed the support of childcare. It was our cities that stepped up and really provided that service, that worked arm in arm with our healthcare providers to provide the testing sites that we needed to get control of the community spread. So together, whether it was the community, the businesses, the cities, we banded together to get through this, and that has been remarkable to see. And I'm so excited that that was really the categories that the Chamber decided to honor today, was the businesses that pivoted, the businesses that stepped up to protect the health and well-being of their workforce, the businesses that were community-minded and supported. I mean, reading about the work that Gari Vineyards and White Castle Tours did together to provide free meals to our healthcare workers was really incredible. And it was those things that gave me the warmth of knowing that we will get through this, And we will get through it perhaps stronger than before because we were able to come through. And reading about some of the new programming to get people out into our businesses, even when it's more challenging. The beer trail that you are creating there in Livermore to get people out enjoying local businesses. I love seeing all that, and I think it is really remarkable, and it is the community working together. It is you being innovative and smart, and hopefully we as a community can support you to make sure you make it through this time. So thank you for showing us that grit and being such an important part of our communities. So what is our role in all of this? The state legislature needs to step up. We need to step up both to provide for our community's health, provide the resources that we've seen are so direly needed, whether it be in testing or protective equipment, providing our children with the resources they need, the bandwidth, the broadband to go to school, the devices that requires, and also doing what small businesses need to thrive. This is one of the hardest for the business owners out there. I'm sure this is one of the hardest time, if not the hardest time that you have ever had to do business. And it is our job to support you through that. So we get to the other side to really see a recovery. So I want to share a little bit about the work that we have done in Sacramento this past year to do exactly that. You know, we've seen two crises, the health crisis of COVID-19 and the economic impact of having to do what was required to control the surge and save lives. And so one of the things that we immediately did upon lockdown was approve a $1.1 billion funding measure to provide the PPE and the necessary measures to get us through this. Because we knew if we could keep those numbers down, our businesses were actually going to thrive better. And so hopefully some of those measures helped a little bit in staving off some of the surges that we are now seeing. We funded the health system to make sure that we had the hospital capacity and the ventilators to support every community member who needs that hospital care. And we did some work to help small businesses, focused very much on what is it that small businesses need right now so they can keep going and they can get through this difficult time still open, with their doors open. And we know that not every business will make it, but we want to support as many as we can. And so what did we do? We did low and no cost loans. We did investments in small and micro businesses, tax exemptions, liability protections, looking across the gamut at how we could support our businesses. You know, and here we are today, back in a stay-at-home order. I know it's slightly different than the one in spring. We said that businesses, shops could stay open with 20% capacity, but during the holidays, that's hard. I know Hanukkah is ending tonight, so we did our shopping on the early side, but I've waited in lines to go into our small businesses. And that I know hurts business. And so I want to recognize that and how difficult, even with allowing the businesses to stay open, we are putting limitations that make it harder. And so we continue to look at how we can support the small businesses as those are needed. Recently, I signed on to a bipartisan letter from the legislature urging Congress to come together in a bipartisan way, as we are in Sacramento, to bring relief to our local communities through an aid package. It really is critical. We can only do so much in California with a constitutionally mandated balanced budget, which is what we should do, balance our budget. But Congress can do more, and they should do more to provide aid to our local communities, and we've urged them to do that. And hopefully they will come together and provide us that aid in the near future. It's looking good, so let's be hopeful. I know that our Congressman Eric Swalwell is a big part of those conversations and helping bring that aid home to the Tri-Valley. But we also did some direct relief here in California. I was proud to co-author the Main Street Small Business Hiring Tax Credit, which provides small businesses that are adversely affected by COVID-19 with reverse tax credits for hiring full-time employees back. And I want to just point out there are a limited number of these tax credits available, and the deadline to apply is January 15th. So be sure to apply. And if there's any questions, please call my office. To qualify, you have to have 100 or fewer employees on December 31st, 2019, so last year. That included part-time employees, and then have experienced a 50% decrease in gross receipts from April to June 2020 compared to the year prior. And you can apply for that tentative credit from CDTFA between now and January 15th. So I hope that those of you that are eligible will apply. It's a really important step. There's also an automatic 3-month extension for taxpayers filing less than $1 million in sales tax, and an extension of existing interest and penalty-free payment agreements to companies with up to $5 million in taxable sales. And, you know, this again is for those companies that are affected by COVID-19, although I know most of you are. So looking to the year ahead, we're building out our legislative package, and a huge part of that is looking at how we can support California's communities and businesses. So we are looking at a bill that will focus on how we stop small businesses from being hurt by lawsuits that are unnecessary. We're doing a bill, which I'm very excited about, that is focused on the Livermore Valley, which will allow licensed wineries to open 2 offsite tasting rooms. We know that the more business opportunities we give, the more you will use them and the better you will do. So expanding the opportunities there is something I really look forward to moving forward again this year. We're gonna be looking again, though, at how we can move California forward in every way. Environmental justice has been an issue we've seen play out in real time during this pandemic, seeing communities of color die in greater numbers than other communities. So continuing to focus on fighting those environmental justice issues to ensure that everybody has clean air and clean water and a clean environment to enjoy. We're going to continue to look at how we can make California safer. What does our criminal justice system look like? What should it look like? How do we support those with mental health needs in California better than we are today? And continuing to look at how we can prevent wildfires and protect from those dire circumstances that I know touched your own city there in Livermore. And luckily, the vast majority was spared, but I had the opportunity to visit some of the ranches that were burned, and it hurt their livelihood, and we have to do better when it comes to wildfire prevention. And lastly, I want to talk about the budget. Our state budget last year, we did $54 billion of cuts because of the economic circumstances of the pandemic. The good news is our projections, most of that is projections, we have outperformed our projections by somewhere between $15 to $25 billion, depending on who you're talking to, which means that some of those cuts could be rolled back. We had done some trigger cuts that would have been avoided if the federal government would have come in with an aid package to the state. That didn't happen, as you all know. And so could we use some of those excess funds for that? However, we did spend down $8.8 billion in our rainy day fund. So I know I and others are advocating for replenishing our rainy day fund with a lot of that money we're bringing in that we didn't anticipate when we passed the budget in June. So it's going to be hard. We know that the projections are the budget will be tough for the years to come, but we will continue to keep our eye on how we continue to thrive as a business community, because when the business community thrives, the state thrives. And that is really what we need to understand as a legislature and move forward as a state. And I know that together we can do what is right for the business community, for the workers, and for everyone in California. So I want to congratulate both the nominees and the winners of today's awards, because really I know that those that had to choose the winners must have had a very difficult time, because so many of our incredible businesses pivoted and supported our community and did all the incredible things that were analyzed for these awards. But thank you for everything you did that has earned you these awards and that earned you that nomination, because it is what makes us stronger. So again, it is a wonderful partnership that we have, and that I hope continues in the years to come as we look towards a recovery. We have our eye on how we can support Livermore through that recovery. Valley Link stays at the top of my priority list of things I want to achieve, because I know that transportation will bring more economic boom, and you have an incredible city that is our partner in making sure that the downtown will thrive and will continue to be a wonderful place to come visit. And I just want you to know that we're here to support you. Please call my office anytime. If you have questions about those tax credits I mentioned or any issues with the State Tax Franchise Board, we are here to support you, and we are open. We are virtual like many offices, but we are answering our phone to support you. And we can help with EDD claims. That has been something that our unemployed community has struggled with, as many of you know, and we are able to help. We can't move it as fast as we would like, but we are able to bring some resolution to those claims if people are struggling. So call about that, the DMV or any other state agency. We are here to support you. We also want to hear your thoughts on legislation that you're hearing about in the news or elsewhere. We have a roundtable where I bring issues to the community, but please also bring issues to us so we can answer your questions and take into consideration your input. So again, thank you for having me. I know that Mayor-elect, oh, I guess not mayor-elect, now he's been sworn in. So Mayor Warner is here as well, and I wanted to congratulate him and wish him all the best in his years ahead as the leader of this community. So congratulations, thank you for all you do, and thank you for having me to speak with you here today.
Thank you, Assembly Member. And now I'm pleased to welcome Don Aguilar, President and CEO of the Livermore Valley Chamber.
Uh-oh, there goes my microphone. Thank you, Harold. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I hope that you are well. We recognize that many of you continue to bring all your energy and focus to sustain your business during this pandemic, especially more so during the current stay-at-home restrictions. In addition to the battered economy, we also acknowledge the loss of life from this terrible virus and the impacts of this loss to the families, communities, and businesses. And while the Livermore Valley Chamber of Commerce is not immune to the economic impacts to our financial position, I assure you that this organization, this team, and our leadership has your back. We are planning now on ways to sustain our support for the business community until we are all on firm ground again. More on that in coming months. Today, we are here to recognize and celebrate the silver lining of 2020. Businesses that have pivoted, met the moment, and leaned in with our hashtag LiveValBiz Awards. Today, we celebrate. This was and is definitely a time for all hands on deck, and I'm happy to kick this off with some special recognitions. Although I think maybe some of that got out a little early, but that's okay. The Livermore Valley Chamber of Commerce is pleased to recognize the contributions of Tom Petty, of Thomas Petty Digital Marketing Solutions. Yay, Tom! Tom Petty is also a member of our board of directors, and his company is a member of our chairman's circle. Tom wears many hats in his critical roles with the chamber and is a big part of our daily operations. This special recognition is for his contribution to the Livermore Chamber in week 1 of the COVID-19 shelter in place. Immediately after the Bay Area counties and Governor Newsom announced the shelter-in-place orders, the chamber team swiftly mobilized. I knew that this emergency had the potential to do irreparable harm to our economy, and our role would be to support our businesses with resources and information. I called Tom to discuss setting up a special page on the chamber website for COVID-related info. Tom's response, why not another website for all businesses for the sole purpose of supporting and promoting businesses during the pandemic? Familiar with the time and labor-intensive process of setting up a website, I told him we need something that could be done swiftly. His response, give me a week. What? Well, within a week, he stood up livermoreupdates.com. It's minimal, as is a lot of the things that we're doing just during this period of time, and yet it provides all the pages necessary to keep businesses informed. And it includes a page open for business. This is where any business in the Livermore Valley can post their business, take out, pick up, online, in person, whatever, throughout the various cycles of reopening. This is where we direct visitors seeking info on what's open. Since activating the site, we've had thousands of visitors. LivermoreUpdates.com added value has been immeasurable and a major addition to the Chamber's toolbox during this pandemic. Please join me in thanking Tom Petty and celebrating his accomplishment. And a shot. The next special recognition goes to the City of Livermore. The City of Livermore is an amazing partner of this chamber. We are a rare chamber of commerce that has a seat on its board of directors for its city mayor, not his or her designee, but for the mayor. But this recognition is for the City of Livermore staff and the entire leadership. There are many things that the Chamber appreciates about this municipality, including advancing and executing plans for the downtown district, meeting the city's obligations for housing, support for infrastructure and for the wine industry economy, and its stand on the defeat of a harmful local health care measure a few years ago, among many other things. Those are all worthy of this Chamber's recognition. However, today's special recognition is for the City of Livermore's actions during the pandemic in support of the business and the community. The city has taken a number of actions throughout the past 9 months that were thoughtful and swift, doing its best to respond to changing conditions on the ground. And having spent 16 years in the public sector, I will tell you that this is unprecedented. Local government does not respond that quickly, but it did, it pivoted. And so it included, in March, a temporary moratorium on residential and commercial evictions, a temporary moratorium on city fines, penalties, and interest, a temporary outdoor dining permit program, a cap on third-party delivery apps charged to restaurants, and it established a $2 million small business grant program. And in November, it moved $1 million from the grant program to match the Alameda County CARES grant program, increasing the number of Livermore businesses eligible for funding. The city continues to modify and establish new orders to meet changing needs. Also note that the city, led by Vice Mayor, now Mayor Bob Warner, and city staff, recognize the potential for unintended consequences from these actions and are working with affected parties to minimize those impacts. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, thank you to the City of Livermore for your support of the local economy. And our final special recognition is really an acknowledgement of and farewell to an amazing icon and leader in the community and to the Livermore Valley Chamber of Commerce organization. Livermore Mayor John Marchand, thank you for 8 years of service on the Chamber Board of Directors. Thank you for your energy, interest, and thoughtful consideration of all things Chambers of Commerce. It was rare that you missed a board meeting, a business alliance meeting, business mixers, or ribbon cutting. Your knowledge and calm professionalism make it a pleasure to work with you. You are definitely a fan favorite at ribbon cuttings. Chamber member businesses are delighted and impressed when the mayor participates in their ribbon cutting ceremonies. What a wonderful welcome to the community for a new or reimagined business. We will miss you, John. A lot has been accomplished during your tenure, and it is time to enjoy the fruits of your labor and a well-deserved life of a private citizen during your retirement. We know that you'll remain involved in the community forever. Thank you, John. And now, with pleasure, I'll turn the program over to John Marchand for the awards.
Well, good heavens, thank you, Don. This really was a surprise. I wasn't expecting to be recognized in an award today, so thank you. It truly has been a pleasure and an honor to have been a member of the Chamber of Commerce here in Livermore, because it's important for the mayor to be involved, because as the mayor, my representation is there because when the businesses in my community succeed, my community succeeds. So that's why I was honored to be a part of that. So this year there will be 5 award categories redefined to suit the current environment under the COVID-19 restrictions affecting the current businesses and our business community. Nominations were submitted by members and non-members. Nominees that were not chamber members were originally going to be screened out, but upon further consideration, as the Chamber has gone beyond its own brand, supporting all businesses during COVID-19, it was decided that all nominees would be considered. The first category is Excellence in Business Adaptation with a Focus on the Future award. This award recognizes businesses who have risen to the challenges presented and have adapted to meet those business needs during COVID-19 and plan to incorporate one or more of these changes in their operations post-pandemic. The nominees are Eurotech, First Street Ale House, Fremont Bank, Gillig, Pinos Palette, Strizzi's, Uncle Credit Union, Wiley X. And the award goes to Fremont Bank. So Fremont Bank was founded in 1964, one of the oldest locally owned and managed banks in the Bay Area. Fremont Bank has 22 branch offices with 5 in the Tri-Valley. During the pandemic, Fremont Bank quickly put the health and well-being of their employees at the very top of their consideration. 80% of the workforce were able to work from home. Branch hours were adjusted to limit time employees were in the buildings and away from their families, and meals were delivered daily to the offices. While undergoing this modification, Fremont Bank employees worked 7 days a week to process the applications from the SBA Paycheck Protection Program, approving most and meeting federal deadlines and funding requirements. The Fremont Bank Foundation donated $500,000 to local school districts to help offset costs of distance learning and to help prepare for return to the classrooms. This includes $30,000 to the Livermore School District. They also earmarked 5% of earnings to the communities they serve, including funding local nonprofits. Fremont Bank adapted its operations and set the foundation for a strong future return for businesses and for education, and this is a true definition of a community bank. Congratulations to Fremont Bank. I believe we may have Kim Grudel to say a few words. And let me just say that the words that 2020 will be remembered by are pivot, resilient, and you're on mute. So if you're going to be receiving an award, make sure you unmute. So Kim Grudel.
Thank you, Mayor Marchand. It's an honor to represent Fremont Bank in my ugly Christmas sweater today to receive this award. It's an amazing company to work for, and it's an amazing company to serve our community. I do want to recognize Elena Silva. She's our assistant branch manager at our Livermore office. And if she could just say a couple words, that would be great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for this wonderful award. I joined Fremont Bank during the pandemic, and what Fremont Bank has done for the business community, as you mentioned, Mayor, in your introduction, is an amazing. I'm so blessed to be part of a great team that supports the community in a strong manner, especially during the pandemic time. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. And I would like to point out that Kim Grudel is a member of the Chamber Board, and it has been an honor and privilege to serve with her for these past few years. Next is the Most Valuable Employer with a focus on Employee Health and Wellness Award. The winner of this award will have shown the ability to assist employees in responding to the pandemic, recognizing the value of employees' contributions while keeping them safe, healthy, paid, and productive. The nominees are El Charro Mexican Food and Cantina, Fremont Bank, Gillig, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, Safeway, Valley Montessori School, and Wiley X. The award goes to El Charro Mexican Food and Cantina. This is a restaurant located in Livermore's downtown district since 2010. The Jose Madriz family business has taken every precaution to keep their employees and customers healthy and safe, strictly following the protocols required by the county and state, maintaining their operations and their employees through various stages of reopening throughout the pandemic. Congratulations to El Charro Mexican Food and Cantina, and I believe we have Jose Madriz and Celia Gonzalez to accept.
Hey, how's it going?
Great, great. How about yourself? Congratulations.
Thank you very much for the award. It's very nice you guys are doing this. We've been here for a long time, and we definitely have been open because of our employees. So I'm really happy people actually recognize.
Well, congratulations and thank you so much for looking after your employees. Next, we have the Community Minded Award. The winner of this award recognizes businesses that are dedicated to helping others by making a positive impact and by giving back to the community, curing the COVID-19 shelter in place. The nominees are First Street Ale House, Amos Productions, Comcast, Fortune Emporium, Fremont Bank, Garay Vineyard and Winery with White Castle Tours, and Pinot's Palate. The award goes to Garay Vineyard and Winery with White Castle Tours. Garay Vineyard, owned by the Molinaro family, and White Castle Tours, a charter bus business owned by the Gurgis family, partners early in the pandemic to deliver hot meals at no charge daily to healthcare workers and first responders in the Tri-Valley and throughout Alameda and Contra Costa counties. Working with his food suppliers that initially donated meat and produce, and working with chamber staff to set up a GoFundMe page to purchase individual food containers, Chef Abe Amari of Garay coordinated delivery of supplies while keeping his restaurant staff employed. Needing a means of transportation for these meals, Chef Abe partnered with Ken Patterson of White Castle Tours, who was seeking an opportunity to help the community and keep his drivers working. Together, Garay and White Castle delivered hundreds of thousands of meals throughout April and May. Soon after, Garay Cafe was able to begin outdoor dining. White Castle currently has a contract for government service. Congratulations to Garay and White Castle Tours, and now we have Abe Amari and Ken Patterson. You're on mute. There we go.
Hello.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Mayor Marshall. Thank you for Chamber of Commerce. Without you guys, I couldn't do this program together. Really, I want to thank Bob and Gina, the owners, and my staff. I know it's a rough year for every one of us, but I'm sure we're going to go through this very soon, very positive with the vaccine. And I wish a safe holiday for everybody. See you soon. Thanks again.
Thank you, Abe. Next, we have the Creative Pivot Award. Despite the challenges of 2020, this business demonstrated leadership, resilience, and creativity by making adjustments to their strategy, business model, or goals during COVID-19. The nominees are Comcast Business and Xfinity, the First Street Ale House, Garay Vineyard and Winery, La Rosa Construction, Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center, and Pinot's Palate. And the award goes to First Street Ale House. This is owned by the Witherspoon family since 2000. The First Street Ale House is located in the popular Livermore downtown district. The Ale House was one of the first restaurants to pivot after the shelter-in-place orders were first issued in March. To comply with the orders, the Ale House team swiftly mobilized their operation to prepare and sell food for takeout and for curbside pickup. They also worked with their suppliers to set up grocery service using the same takeout curbside pickup model, keeping their employees working, their suppliers in business, and supplying an essential service to residents sheltering in place. The Ale House quickly pivoted from outdoor dining back to this model after the latest stay-at-home order was issued. The Ale House became a model for other restaurants during the pandemic. So congratulations to First Street Ale House. Brooke Witherspoon, I believe, is here to have a few comments. Brooke.
Thank you so much, Mayor Marchand. I just wanted to say what an honor it is to be able to serve in this community. This has been a challenging year for everyone, but our resilience as a city and the support that has just poured out from every level, I'd like to take a moment to definitely thank the city for swiftly putting a barricade system in place so that we could expand outdoor dining and providing grant opportunities for businesses. It's really all of these little things, shutting down the streets for weekend dining and then quickly pivoting when we realized that it wasn't helping everyone as we hoped it would. It's just such an honor to be able to serve our community, and we're honored to have been nominated and hope that we can continue serving for many years to come. Thank you.
And thank you for your many contributions to our community, and congratulations on the culmination of the No Shave November. That's always a wonderful program for the Rooms for Hope. So thank you to the Witherspoon family for the great work that they continue to do for our community. So thank you. Our final award is the 2020 Success Story Award. This award goes to the business with a compelling success story during COVID-19. The nominees are Brat Pack Dog Camp, Comcast Business and Xfinity, and La Rosa Construction. And the award goes to La Rosa Construction. Eric and Kelly Klein are the owners of La Rosa Construction in Livermore since 2017. In March, all projects were shut down to comply with the state shelter-in-place order, leaving La Rosa Construction with an unknown future for their employees and their business. Formerly working primarily on commercial projects, when construction was allowed to operate again in May, La Rosa did a major pivot into the residential sector. They have a number of large residential projects and brought on 4 new employees to meet the demand. The experience has created a tight-knit team. So congratulations to Eric and to La Rosa Construction. Eric Klein, I believe you're here with a few comments. Congratulations. Take it away. Oh, there we are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Kelly and Eric.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, we're so grateful and so honored. And oops, sorry, it looks like my internet connection isn't great. So hopefully you can still hear us.
We can.
We could not have done this without our community. And we've been able to work with some local designers, Jeffrey Design Studio, and they've been amazing with bringing on residential and passing them on to us. And we've been able to meet a lot of homeowners who, like all of us, are stuck in their houses working from home and are now trying to remodel and make it work for a school, an office, and everything else that they're doing at home. So it's been a big, big change for our company, and our guys are thrilled and everyone's happy to be employed still.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing, and congratulations for recognition. Best wishes always. Thank you. So congratulations to all of the 2020 award winners. Thank you for your sacrifice and for your commitment to sustain our businesses here in the Tri-Valley. We wish you the very best for a successful future. And now I'll turn this back to Harold Roundtree for closing remarks. Thank you. Best wishes for a fulfilling 2021.
And thanks again to Assembly Member Barbara Kahan. Congratulations to all the 2020 award winners and to the nominees. The Chamber team will be in touch with the awardees to get their trophy package to them. And finally, I want to say thanks to all of you. Your businesses support the economic vitality of this region. We wish you all a healthy and safe holiday season, and definitely a happier new year in 2021. Have a great day.